The history of Black American people wasn't easy and sometimes continues not to be. The history began in the 17th century when the first African American slaves have been brought with a triangular trade. But the slavery time ended in 1865. There were more slaves in the South than whites. Racism and intolerance were widespread in the US and the segregation appeared. When 11,000 slave states declared their secession from the United States and from the Confederate States of America, and the other states are called the Union and supported federal government, a war appeared, a civil war, from 1861 to 1865. A lot of violence and attacks took place during this period. But in 1863, during the Civil War, President Abraham Lincoln issued the Emancipation Proclamation, freeing slaves in the southern states at war with the North. Several amendments were ratified after that which gave rights to black people, like an amendment outlawed slavery everywhere in the United States in 1865, or the U.S. citizenship to African Americans in 1868, or the right to vote to black males in 1870. And to finish, the most important, condemnation of segregation in public places in 1875. That's why Black History Month was created in 1976, to celebrate the courage and the past of black people, even if racism's problems are still relevant in the United States.
February 1st. We need to remember the courage of black leaders. Without them, the situation for blacks had never changed. They gave hope for the black population to fight for their rights. Rosa Parks, Thurgood Marshall, Marriott Tubman, Frederick Douglass, or Martin Luther King, and many others changed the black situation.
So even though we face the difficulties of today and tomorrow, I still have a dream. It is a dream deeply rooted in the American dream. I have a dream that one day
Many people think that blacks have nothing to see with the victory of military conflicts. We don't talk enough about it, but the Second World War had been won thanks to their helps. Indeed, 909,000 soldiers were called to defend allies. On February the 3rd, thanks to black, the commerce of cotton, sugarcane or else was developed around the world.
More, we need to remember what are the origins of this population. Indeed, at the beginning, they were not born in America, but in Africa, but they were exploited by Europeans. That's the reason for their coming.
On February the 5th, the history of this population needs to be extended in all the world: France, Brasilia, Japan, China, Australia, etc.
This population exported many typical food of their continent. It permitted to mix the American culture and their one. The 14th Amendment targeted to protect the slave rights, and in particular in the south of the United States.
We need to know that blacks manifested in the past and continue to manifest for their rights and equality.
The education that we know has been created by African American and in particular thanks to Maya Angelou. This one was born in 1928 and she dies in 2014. She was poet, actress, dancer, writer, journalist, etc. She was rewarded as many distinctions to fight against black condition.
The rock cries out to us clearly, forcefully, come, You may stand upon my back.
On the 10th of February, black artists on forward, but many of them are very talented like Norman Rockwell. We need to remember the fight against the apartheid led by Nelson Mandela.
One of the most popular African Americans is Barack Obama. The whole president of United States changed the situation in USA for blacks. He defended the equality and the rights, and fight against the black harassment. He didn't deny his origin.
We have to celebrate blacks who are very present in the sport community, in particular in tennis with Arthur Ashe, who won 81 games, in athleticism with John Paxton Taylor, who was the first athlete Afro-American.
The mix of culture created a new style of music, called the music African American.
It created the jazz. Indeed, this style of music has been marketed in all the world thanks to Armstrong.
We must know that without African American, USA will not be the same because they occupy many important places in the American world.
Everybody knows the rap, but do you know that it was created by a black American in suburbs in the 80s?
Many stars like Michael Jackson, Whitney Houston or Beyoncé contribute to give a successful image of black people in America, and thanks to their popularity, they contributed to acceptance of black people.
Al Sharpton was a pastor who was candidate to the presidential election in 2004 and was referred to do the Michael Jackson's funeral speech. He was an important civil rights activist.
Otis Boykin was the creator of the pacemaker in 1960. He was black, so we have to celebrate History Month for him.
Charles Richard Drew was the inventor of the blood bank in 1940, a system to maintain a blood plasma. This invention served for a lot of people.
Alexander Miles was an African-American inventor who was best known for being awarded a patent for an automatically opening and closing elevator doors.
We also need to do this History Month to not let it happen again. Never again slavery, never again harassment and segregation. In 1914, Garrett Augustine Morgan created the safety hood and smoke protector. This mask served during the World War II. In 2019, bread are not used just for black women or men. Some white people do this. Black community created many modes.
African Americans was freed after the end of the segregation. Because of that, the world can study many important characters of this period like Martin Luther King, Rosa Parks, Malcolm X, and many others.
You are all the reason I am Miss USA. to Miss Carla, the Miss DC
Now,
USA
African
fan.
American women can rose as Miss United States, like Candice Dillard, who was elected in 2013.
The reason to do the Black History Month is that blacks are like everyone and they should be treated like everyone else.